Hello and welcome to Word on the Street, where we give you the lowdown on everything people have been talking about over the last fortnight.
We'll be with you every 2 weeks to bring you exclusive updates on various topics like games, films, book reviews and more.
Be sure to tune in every episode for recaps.
This week we'll be talking about films that have been adapted from books, both recent and old. One of our favourite adaptations in recent times is The Hunger Games, based on the best-selling 2008 novel of the same name by Suzanne Collins.
The Hunger Games is set in Panem, a nation risen out of the ashes of North America after being destroyed by natural disasters and famine, consisting of 13 districts surrounding the cruel capital. The 13 districts rose up against the capital but were defeated, and the 13th was destroyed. As a way of saying the capital were ultimately in control, the remaining districts were then forced to compete in the Hunger Games, an annual televised fight to the death, which sees a girl and a boy from each district travel to the capital to take part.
Well, I've been a fan of the book for years. I read it in 2010 and have been an avid follower of all the movie news for almost as long.
Well, I'm a slightly newer fan. I actually read the book just days before I saw the film. In fact, I never even heard of The Hunger Games before reading the book, so of course I didn't have any expectations at all.
And I read the book after the film came out, when Shannon lent it to me, but I made sure to watch the film afterwards. I was told it was amazing by a lot of people, though.
Basically, there's a whole range of fans here.
Abby, since you've known the book the longest, what did you think of it?
Well, I thought as an adaptation it was very good. It was very close to the book, and certainly not a lot of the scenes were actually taken out of it. You know, some people may say a few of their favourite scenes were not in it, but overall, compared to a lot of films, it was very close to the book. I thought the acting was really, really good, especially by Jennifer Lawrence. I can definitely understand why she's an Oscar-nominated actress, and Josh Hutcherson was exactly like Peter for me. And I especially loved all the child actors like Mandla Semberg and Willow Shields, who I didn't actually know were that amazing actors when I first saw the trailer, but then when I saw the film I realised how good they were. Also, the directing, costumes and sets and everything were really good, and a lot of people actually complain about the camera, shaky camera, though I think it really lent something to the film.
Yeah, I was just thinking that myself.
Especially the cornucopia scene. I can't actually imagine it without shaky camera, because I think it really makes you realise how confusing everything is. Though when I first saw it, I thought it seemed a bit rushed, and I really wanted it to be longer. The beginning seemed quite rushed, like it went straight from one bit to another. But then, the second time I saw it, I didn't have any problems.
I agree with what you're saying about how you thought it was a bit rushed, the film, but I don't think the beginning's rushed, because I think it shows exactly all the different stages before the Hunger Games begin. You've got you've got all the things in the capital, such as the ceremony, you've got the interviews, you've got everything. You've got it all exactly the same order as well. You've got the reaping at the beginning, then the train journey as well. So I thought if anything they put a lot of detail into the beginning of it, because it showed all the different stages, showed every single bit that happened, and they included a lot of things in the book. The only thing I thought that was rushed was the actual games themselves. They went very quick, and I think they missed out a hell of a lot of the drama. Because in the beginnings it shows all the capital suspense. It was building up to a huge drama at the end of the film, but I just think the games kind of missed that out in a way. And also, one thing that majorly disappointed me is the fact that, well, for anyone who hasn't read the book, I'll just give you an insight as to what this is. Basically, at the end of the book, with the mutations, the mutts, wolves, or whatever you want to call them, in the book they are supposed to represent the dead tributes. I think this is some kind of challenge for Katniss and Peter and Cato to fight off. I don't know, but I thought that was really good in the book, and I was really looking forward to seeing that on screen, because that's quite horrible, really, seeing dead tributes formed into mutation wolves. That's quite horrible. It's quite traumatic, really. I think that was a really important aspect of the film, but I mean, they missed it out in the actual film, and I was really looking forward to seeing that on screen. But probably the reason why they missed it out in the film is because the film's actually rated a 12A, so I think the filmmakers probably thought it would have been a bit scary for young children. But don't get me wrong, the film's fantastic overall, but that was just a bit disappointing for me.
Someone did actually design the maps with the eyes and faces of the tributes, but I think the filmmakers thought it would be a bit unnerving for the children.
Well, when it comes to me and filming, and also to books, I always go for the story. I always check the story before reading the book or the film. From what I've seen so far in the film and the books, it has one of those engaging stories. It gives you the curiosity to know more about the story. It also gives you a good amount of cliffhangers that will kind of get you into the edge of the seat to want to find out what's going to happen next.
Yeah.
So it keeps you interested constantly.
I agree.
But however, if I have to choose between the film and the book, I choose the book. The book has more interesting plot twists, unlike the film where they skip many things out.
Yeah, the film is condensed.
However, since the film was more for from ages 12A and over, it would be nice though if they made like an older person's version.
It was originally a 15, but they cut bits out.
I
But
think they probably wanted a wider audience,
Yeah.
really, because there are some aspects of the film that could probably be ranged.
yeah, I do give them kudos for thinking about the children though, because children will want to know this sort of story. However, if they were to see the violent stuff, then yeah, they would be rather traumatized.
One thing I really love about the film is the music. It's written by James Newton Howard, and I think it's really beautiful, but people who don't particularly listen out for the music or have bought the soundtrack might not really notice it. One thing I noticed is that it doesn't really have a particular theme like Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings that keeps coming back, that people will recognise as soon as they hear it.
That's something I've noticed as well, that because with Harry Potter and other films like that, there is the same theme tune every time. Like with James Bond, for example, all the James Bond films have the same typical theme tune that people will recognise the film because of that, and same with Harry Potter. Whereas with Hunger Games, it's like you say, there isn't necessarily a recurring theme, but somehow the film is still memorable, partly by the music. I think it's pretty good, that though.
I think people will probably recognise Horn of Plenty, which is the capital anthem, though it doesn't actually recur throughout the film apart from when there's capital anthem meant to be playing.
Well, unlike many people who focus on a song, I just focus on the story, so I don't really have any opinions on the song. I do find them rather fitting to the storyline, though.
I agree. I think a lot of the music really captures the tension and anticipation of the story. I think it really does, to be honest. Especially with the cornucopia music, with the cornucopia scene, I think that's fantastic. It's like what you said earlier, going back to the whole shaky cam technique. I think both that and the music really, really captured all the confusion, everything that Katniss was feeling in that situation, because it's such a dynamic, hard-hitting situation.
Yeah.
She's pretty much running for her life.
And the fact that it's all repetitive for ages and ages really unnerves you and makes you confused.
Yeah, I mean, personally, it gets my heart racing when I watch it, because it's just so exciting, but at the same time I'm just thinking, oh my god, if I was there, you know, what would I do? I can really reflect on the situation, put myself in Katniss's shoes.
Yeah. Some of my favourites, you might recognise them by which scene they are. But the one I actually noticed in the film was called Healing Katniss, and Katniss was in the tree, and she'd been burnt by the fireballs, and then suddenly the little parachute came down, and then there was just music there that was just so full of relief, and it's just really beautiful. And another of my favourites is called Penthouse Training, when she walks into the penthouse for the first time and looks around, not knowing, so amazed at what it looks like. And then she goes and walks towards the window and the trees are out there and the music just turns really calm and it's just really beautiful. And then after that it goes into the training centre and then it's just so full of tension and really nerve-wracking. So yeah, I think it is really beautiful music, though some people may not notice it as much as Harry Potter, but if people listen to it on its own, they can really accept it.
I agree, the music is fantastic, and the second film of the Hunger Games series, Catching Fire, is actually coming out next on November 22nd. The teaser actually came out yesterday. We're recording this on Tuesday, by the way, in case any of you didn't know, and it is actually really good, I think.
Yeah, I was surprised by how much they included in the teaser trailer, seeing as the equivalent from Hunger Games was literally just 1 minute of Katniss walking through the wood. If they did that with Catching Fire, though, I would probably suffer a frustrated meltdown.
I wouldn't quite take it that far.
The following section contains spoilers.
If you wish to avoid them, skip to the 15-minute mark.
So what are we all looking forward to watching the Catching Fire film?
Well, as much as I don't remember the book since I read it like a few months ago, however, after watching the teaser trailer, I was actually very curious to see how it will develop in the movie. I just hope that the director doesn't make the same mistake as many other directors in the past.
Well, what were those mistakes?
Featuring scenes in the film that would spoil the plot.
You mean in the trailer?
Yeah. Well, in the past, from other films, many directors, when making the trailer to entice the audience, most scenes from the film were showed on the trailer, which spoils the plot and makes many people lose interest in the film, and that will really just kill the curiosity.
I can see your point there, but obviously a lot of people have read the books, and most people will be really excited to see how certain scenes from the book are going to be, like what they're going to look like on the big screen.
That is for Hunger Games fans. However, for those who are still new to the Hunger Games, who still haven't read it or even watched the films, it will be a bit of a moment killer for them.
Though at the same time, there's loads of people who say they really hope they don't show everything, because people for the first film, they're really glad that they only showed the first half, otherwise they feel like they've seen the whole thing. They really hope they hold back from most of the arena scene, so we still have that to look forward to.
If I'm correct, Gary Ross was the director of the original Hunger Games.
Yeah.
It's now been replaced by another director.
Yeah,
Can't remember his
Francis
name.
Lawrence.
Yeah, Francis Lawrence.
So I think Francis Lawrence is doing a very good job. So he seems to know what he's doing with the trailer.
One film of his that I did love is I Am Legend.
I'm most looking forward to seeing the arena, really, because in Catching Fire in the book, where they're standing by the cornucopia, it's now filled with water, so it's like a lake or a river or something, and they have to swim to get across to get all the weapons and, all the suppliants that they need. I'm just really looking forward to seeing that on the screen. I think that'd be quite interesting, really, especially as a lot of them probably can't swim, because normally when I read a book I'm quite good at picturing the scene. I find it quite difficult to imagine the cornucopia with water. That's why I'm really curious to see it on the big screen, because I just want to see how that'll look.
I'm really looking forward to seeing how she comes up into the arena. When in the book she goes, "This is no place for a girl on fire." I really hope they include Katniss and Finnick's prank on Peter. I just really want to see that.
Another thing I would love to see is it's in the book where Peter gets hit by the force field, and Finnick gives him the kiss. I can't wait to see that, because the fact that Katniss interprets it as something kind of, a bit dodgy.
Okay, what's going on here?
It's just like, oh, what's going on between them two, I can't wait to see that bit, because I can't wait to see her reaction. I just can't wait to see how it's going to look. I don't know whether it's going to look like the kiss of life, he's saving his other, whether it's going to look like something.
I'm pretty sure the director wouldn't put such a, well, of course they would put the kiss of life, of course, but I'm pretty sure they're gonna change a bit in the book to make it more appealing for the majority.
Yeah, lots of people are really hoping they do keep it, because some people don't know. But then I think he knows lots of fans are looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to it.
Since it is a funny part, so...
Yeah.
Well, it depends on what it's rated, because the last one was rated as 12A.
Yeah, it's also a moment when we realise that Finnick is actually on their side, so it's quite important for his character development as well.
That's quite funny, because Katniss is still suspicious of him in a way, because she's just like, oh, I should still kill him at some point.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the very end when Gale tells Katniss there is no District 12, because I still can't imagine what that would look like, really.
That's exactly one of the things I always think about. I don't know how it's going to end, whether it will just go, there is no District 12 and then black, or if it will be done in a different way.
However, when it comes to the whole District 12 ordeal, I think they're going to leave that as a bit as a cliffhanger for if they're making Mockingjay.
I think they would.
It's a cliffhanger in the book. All Gale says is there is no District 12, and then the book ends, I think. So I'm wondering if it's going to go completely black, and then obviously you'll have the ending credits, or whether it's going to be something else. One other thing I'm looking forward to is just Katniss beating up Haymitch. That'd be funny.
Oh yeah, the bit when they get drunk as well. Oh yeah.
Oh god, yeah.
They announced the Quarter Quell, and then she gets so upset.
She goes to Haymitch for a drink.
Yeah.
So what I reckon they might do, because with the Tracker Jackers, when in the first film, when you saw it from her point of view, and everything was all distorted, I reckon they might do a similar thing for that when she's drunk, because it's her first experience of spirits and everything. I think it'd be quite funny if they did that. I think that'd be quite good.
Oh yeah, there's so many bits I'm looking forward to, but also the Jabberjay bit when they hear Prim scream and Annie scream. I really hope Annie's in it, though she hasn't been cast, but hopefully Annie will be heard.
Yeah, I'll be really sad if that bit's not in here. It depends on how realistic they're going to make it. Yeah, there's definitely a lot that we're looking forward to.
Oh, overall, The Hunger Games is by no means the only major young adult book to be adapted to film this year. In fact, it seems to be a particularly busy year for that. In order of release, the major films for this year are Warm Bodies, Beautiful Creatures, The Host, Percy Jackson's Sea of Monsters, The Mortal Instruments, City of Bones, Ender's Game, The Hunger Games Catching Fire, and The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug. There's also Oz the Great and Powerful based on The Wizard of Oz. Epic based on The Leaf Men and Brave Good Bugs, and classic novels like The Great Gatsby along with many others.
Have any of you back home seen these films? Find us on Facebook and Twitter under the username word_on_street and let us know your thoughts. We'll choose one comment to either retweet or feature on our page every 2 weeks.
If you have any queries or suggestions, please email us at wordonthestreet@outlook.com.
Thank you very much for listening. Tune in again in 2 weeks' time.